Okay, let's unpack this. When a major disaster hits, the sheer chaos can be overwhelming.
It really can.
Beyond just, immediate safety, you're suddenly facing all these financial questions.
Hmm.
And navigating FEMA, insurance, tax relief, it feels like an impossible maze.
Uh-huh.
So today, we want to cut through that complexity, give you a clear roadmap for financial recovery after one of these federally declared disasters.
And the thing is, this isn't just a checklist, right? We've looked at a ton of sources to figure out why each step is so critical.
Right.
We've got some surprising facts, those, aha moments that can genuinely help speed things up and give you some peace of mind.
Okay, so where do you even start? How do you unlock federal aid?
Well, the absolute first key, the starting gun really, is the president issuing a major disaster declaration.
Okay.
But crucially, it has to be specifically for individual assistance in your county.
Individual assistance. Got it. That's the trigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So step one, check your area's status immediately. Go to FEMA.gov or disasterassistance.gov.
Because if you apply before that declaration...
Automatic denial. You'll just waste precious time and energy.
Right. Okay, declaration confirmed. What's next? Straight to FEMA.
Not quite yet, actually, and this is a big one. FEMA's Individuals and Households Program, the IHP, offers grants.
Grants, not loans. That's huge.
It is. You don't repay them. And, crucially, they aren't taxable income. Plus, they won't mess with the other federal benefits you might get. It's a lifeline.
Wow. Okay. That's really good to know. So after the declaration, before FEMA, is it insurance?
Yes, your insurance is absolutely your first line of defense. Homeowners, renters, flood insurance, whatever you have, you must file that claim first.
Why is that so strict?
It comes down to something called the duplication of benefits rule. Federal law basically says FEMA can't pay for losses that your insurance already covers.
Makes sense. They can't pay twice for the same thing.
Exactly. So FEMA needs to see your insurance settlement letter or even a denial letter to know what's not covered. That documentation is key.
Okay, and speaking of insurance, here's something that trips people up all the time. Standard homeowners or renters policies. They do not cover flood damage, right?
Absolutely correct. Still surprises so many people. You need a separate flood insurance policy, usually through the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program.
And even with NFIP, there are catches.
There are some big limitations that catch people off guard, like it generally doesn't cover additional living expenses, temporary rent, hotel bills while you're displaced.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Yeah, and basement or crawl space coverage, very limited. It's mostly for structural things or essential utilities, not finished walls, floors, or most of your stuff down there.
Important detail. And there's a deadline for NFIP.
A strict one. You have to file what's called a proof of loss within 60 days of the flood. Don't miss that.
Okay, 60 days. Got it. Now let's talk about the SBA, the Small Business Administration. People get that packet and often...
They toss it. They think, I don't own a business, or I definitely don't want a loan.
Big mistake.
Huge mistake. And maybe the biggest aha a moment for survivors. Applying for that SBA disaster loan is actually a required step to unlock certain other types of FEMA grants.
Wait, really? So you need the SBA application even for FEMA grants?
For some crucial ones, yes, like grants for personal property, maybe furniture, clothing, or even help with vehicle repair or replacement.
So even if you know you'll be denied the loan or you don't want it?
You still have to apply and return the application. If the SBA denies you, that denial letter itself makes you eligible for potentially more grant money from FEMA. If you don't return the SBA packet, you basically halt your eligibility for those specific FEMA grants.
That is critical information. Don't toss the SBA packet. Okay, moving on. Taxes. Not fun, but important.
Right. The IRS often gives automatic relief, like deadline extensions for filing and paying taxes after a major disaster declaration. That's helpful.
Any other tax strategies?
Yes, a really powerful one, especially for getting cash quicker. It's the preceding year election for casualty losses.
Okay, what's that?
It means you can choose to deduct your disaster losses on your tax return for the year before the disaster happened, instead of waiting for the tax year of the disaster.
Ah, so you could amend last year's return and potentially get a refund much faster.
Exactly. That puts cash in your hands sooner, right when you need it most for recovery. Faster cash flow.
Great tip. Now, what about FEMA denials? People get discouraged.
They do, but an initial denial is often not the final word. Many times it's just incomplete paperwork or maybe misunderstanding a question.
Like that willing to relocate question.
Spot on. That usually just means, are you willing to accept temporary housing, not move permanently? Simple clarifications like that. You have 60 days from your determination letter to appeal.
And appeals often work.
Very often, yes, because usually it just means providing the missing document or information FEMA needs. Don't give up.
Good advice. And unfortunately, we have to talk about fraud.
Yes, sadly, disasters attract scammers. Be wary of contractors asking for big cash payments up front or using high-pressure sales tactics.
And people pretending to be FEMA.
Right. Real FEMA inspectors always have official photo ID badges.
Yeah.
And they never ask for money or bank account information. If someone does, that's a huge red flag.
Good heads up. For more on that, you might check out the Taxpayer Beware Deep Dive on Disaster Fraud from Feb 4, 2025.
Good recommendation.
Quick shout out to renters, too. This isn't just for homeowners, is it?
Absolutely not. Renters can be eligible for significant FEMA Help Rental Assistance grants, money for essential personal property, and renters can also apply for those FBA disaster loans for personal property. Don't count yourself out if you rent.
Okay, so if there's one overarching piece of advice.
Record keeping, hands down. Photos, videos of damage before you clean up if possible. Keep every single receipt for disaster-related expenses, lodging, repairs, supplies. Log every call with insurance, FEMA, SBA.
Dates, times, names.
Everything. Meticulous records are truly the golden rule. It's the single most important thing you could do to support your claims and make the financial recovery smoother.
Okay, so let's recap that critical path. First, verify that Presidential Declaration for Individual Assistance.
Yep. Then contact your insurance company immediately. File those claims.
Crucial first step.
Apply to FEMA and apply to the SBA. Complete that SBA step no matter what.
Don't skip the SBA part.
Document absolutely everything. Photos, receipts, calls.
The golden rule.
Appeal FEMA decisions if needed within 60 days. And maybe consider getting professional help if you feel overwhelmed.
Good summary. And maybe one final thought to leave folks with.
Please.
You know, we focus a lot on the financial steps, the practical roadmap, and that's essential. But rebuilding your life after a disaster? It's more than just structures and money, isn't it?
For sure.
It's also about the resilience you find, the strength you build, navigating this incredibly tough journey. Remember to use all the support available, including emotional support, as you move forward. It's about rebuilding your whole life, not just your finances.